There is one project that really shaped how I think about project management was setting up my very first cafe. At that time, I didn't think of it as a formal project, but looking back now, it clearly had all the key elements of one. The project was simple. Open a small cafe within a budget of $20,000 and do it pretty fast because the landlord only gave me 20 days to renovate the space before the lease countdown started. So time immediately became the my biggest constraint. I had two startup lined up for the day-to-day cafe operations, but for the setup itself, I hired an electricians and a small team of carpenters as contractor. I also worked very closely with a friend who is an interior designer. He helped me with the design concept, and I was the one who is responsible for translating that design into practical instructions for the carpenters and making sure everything stay within the budget and on schedule. So in practice, I acted as the project lead. I coordinated all stakeholder, follow up on progress almost daily, resolve issue as they came up, and make the final decisions. So at that time, I trained my two staff in barista skill, baking, general coffee operations. So the business would be ready as soon as the renovation finished. Once the project started, I realized very quickly that I needed structure. So I broke the work into smaller pieces: electrical work, carpentry, painting, equipment installations, menu testing, and staff training. I didn't know the term back then, but this was essentially a work breakdown structure. I also I also need to work out the sequences of tasks. Electrical work had to be completed before carpentry, and carpentry before equipment installations. Looking back now, that was me managing the critical part because any delay there would affect the opening date. Stakeholder management was also a very important part of the project. The designer focused on the aesthetic, the carpenters focused on practicality, and I had to balance those expectations within time and cost constraint. That really required the clear communications and sometimes negotiations. I also paid close attention to quality. I set clear expectations for things like counter height, storage, and workflow, and I check progress almost every day. That formed part of my monitoring and controlling process. Change management came in also as well. There were moments like I wanted to add extra design features, but with very tight schedule, I had to stick to the original scope. That decision saved both time and cost. In terms of risks, delay were my biggest concern. I managed that by following up closely with contractors and building a small buffer into the schedule. While it wasn't a formal risk register, I was actively identifying and responding to risks. There were two things that went particularly well. First was the communications. Regular follow up and clear expectations reduce misunderstanding and help keep everyone alive. Second was time management. By focusing on high dependency tasks like electrical and carpentry work, I was able to keep the project on schedule, which was critical financially. There were also a couple of other challenges. One was the cost estimations. I set an overall budget, but didn't break costs down into enough details. So there are like a small overrun added up. That taught me the importance of having a proper cost baseline and contingency. Another challenge was operational readiness. I focused heavily on completing the renovations and underestimated some operational derricks like workflow and supplier coordinations. That highlighted the importance of planning the transitions from project completions into normal operations. So overall, this project helped me clearly understand the triple constraint: scope, time, and cost, because changing one immediately affect the others. I can also now see the project moving through the former process group: initiations, planning, executions, monitoring and controlling, and closing. If I were managing the same project today, I would use more formal tools like Gantt chart, a simple risk register, and clearer cost tracking. But that experience gave me strong hand-on project management skills that still shape how I approach projects today. Thank you.